You're good to go.
Carl, Lisa, thank you again for coming together and meeting with me. Naturally, you want to know a little bit more about me and the company that I work for, Prudential. So I just want to get right into it. So I'm sure you've heard of Prudential. It's a company that's been around for over 143 years. We cover the East Brunswick area, but if you think of New Jersey, it would be south and north and even central, if you believe in it. One of the things that I want to show you today that people don't know about Prudential is how it's a global asset manager, a leader in global asset manager. It's top 10. So when you think of these companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, Prudential's right there. And that's the only insurance company in the top 10. Besides that, they have 23 of the largest 25 U.S. corporate plans. So when you talk about 401ks and retirement planning, they're a big player in that field as well. So most people don't know that. That's why I wanted to bring that out. So the next thing I want to do is go over how we work with our clients. It consists of 6 steps. So in the first 2 steps, we find out more about you guys. So much similar to how we're meeting today. This would be any sort of wants, goals, dreams, desires. And from there, what we do is we bring that information back to the office, and if appropriate, we put together a report. And I just want to show you a quick example of what one would look like. So the good thing about this is it would show you some numbers and some visuals of identifying any sort of gaps of where you are and where you want to be. And then the next time we come together, we would go through this report and we'd show you different options, option A, option B, and we'd identify if anything's appropriate that we want to go forward with. And after we go ahead with something, we meet on an ongoing basis, every 6 months or a year, whatever's appropriate, because things in life tend to change. We want to make sure that we're on the same page. So in terms of the process, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Fantastic. So the next thing I want to go over is what we call the 4 cornerstones of financial planning. When you think of these as the foundation. Similar to your home, you want to make sure that it's steady and you know exactly what's going on. So the first area is cash management and liabilities. Then there's protection, investments, and taxes and estate planning. The way that we like to visualize this is using this. Now it's not 8.5 by 11, so we get to use a lot of it to see exactly what's going on in each area. So if you're like most people, you have concerns. So the first one will be retirement. You work your whole life, you're climbing up the mountain, and then at a certain point you want to make sure that you have guaranteed income that you won't outlive. After that, most people are concerned about education planning. So education is outpacing inflation, and it's not getting any cheaper. After that, there's savings. How much do you keep in a savings account? When it comes to this, we want to make sure that our clients have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months in case anything were to happen, whether it's the heater or the AC, something happens, so you don't have to blow up your whole plant. After that, there's protection. This would be the self-completing aspect of the plan in case you're sick or hurt or can't go to work, that you don't have to worry about something happening to your family. You already know everything set aside and planned for. After that, there's estate planning. Now this would be the best way to plan for passing down assets from generation to generation. After that, there's cash flow. Now this would be the crux of understanding budgeting, what's going in, what's going out, so you're really efficient with spending. And finally, last but not least, there's taxes. Everybody has questions about taxes. Is there any way that I can save on taxes? And when we think of this, we think of it, there's 3 key areas. There's either tax me now, tax me later, or tax me never. And typically these meetings end in one of 3 ways. 1, the way that I answer your questions, we find that we're not a good fit. 2, the way that you answer mine, we see that any more work that we do would just muddy the waters. And finally, and most commonly, the way that I answer your questions and you answer mine, we find that there's room for growth. So having said that, I just want to say that at any one point that you're comfortable saying no, we're comfortable saying no to each other. So does that sound fair?
Yes, absolutely.